We're back, and today ranking the top 35 names on my big board in Dynasty Fantasy Football. Now, we already did a ranking video like this once before, but now things have changed. A lot of names have moved around in the rankings, and we even have a lot of new names too. So this is going to be a fun video today, man. Smash the like and subscribe button. Please subscribe. I'll crank out more Dynasty content for all you to enjoy. Let's get into the video, man. Number 1, Ashton Jeanty. 1,900 total yards as a sophomore. 2,600 rushing yards in his final season. He's going to be a top 12, top 13 pick in the NFL draft in real life. He's going to be the one of one as well in your rookie draft. Maybe super flex, somebody chokes and picks a quarterback. That ain't happening, man. Ashton Jeanty, what I love the most about him, underrated as a receiver. 600 receiving yards in 2023, only 100 in this monster rushing season. So he can actually do it both. He's a bit underrated as a receiver. Number 2, I'm just not as high on Ted McMillan, man. I think McMillan's going to be a good receiver. He will be a good receiver for sure. But Hampton, man, he's just another good running back. He'd be the best running back in the class if not for Jeanty. So I'm already on Hampton. He had 1,500 rushing yards in 2023, almost 1,700 rushing yards in 2024, as well as being probably the second best receiving back in this class. He might even be the best receiving back in this class. Hampton's a good, he carried North Carolina for 2 years, even when Drake May was there at the quarterback. He had 2 straight 1,500-plus rushing yard seasons, two in a row, 15 touchdown seasons. I like Amari Hampton, especially PPR, so I'm going to have him at number 2. Ted McMillan is going to be number 3, though. I know a lot of people have him above Amari Hampton, but not me. Again, 1,400 receiving yards in 2023. 2024, he had 1,300 receiving yards as well. He is a touchdown threat. He's had about 10 touchdowns per season. He's lanky, 6'5", 212 pounds. He's got good deep speed. He also is going to get a lot of receptions at PPR. So I do like McMillan at the, ranked number 3. He is going to be one of the star players of this class. And, depending on his landing spot, he's looking like he's going top 10 for sure in this draft. Now, Luther Burden. Luther Burden's harder to project out where he's getting drafted this season. I've seen him kind of rising up draft boards as high as top 10. I've also seen him going number 20 to the Broncos. So it's kind of hard to predict where he's going to land. And again, these rankings are going to change a lot, so make sure you stay tuned. This guy had a very good 2023 season, 86 catches, 1,200 yards, 9 touchdowns, 5-star recruit. Really, this guy has a lot of hype around him, kind of bringing him up this board. And I'm kind of buying into the hype, man. If he finds a good landing spot, he'll be the wide receiver 2 on a team somewhere. I like him at the number 4. Now, after number 4, things get convoluted. It's really hard to kind of rank. But what Quinshon Judkins has been doing in the college football playoffs, he's on my radar, man. Now, he hasn't necessarily had that monster season. He's been consistently over 1,000 yards rushing and, consistently around 150 receiving yards. Now, with that said, in the college football playoffs, man, he's been averaging 10 yards a carry, and he's been a lean, mean touchdown machine. 15-plus touchdowns every single season this guy's been on the field. I think it's going to translate well to the NFL. We'll have to see the landing spot. He's not going to be a round 1 pick, probably. We're talking about all these running backs. We're talking about, round 2 and beyond now, most likely, besides Hampton and Jeanty. And even Hampton might be a round 2 type pick. But I like Judkins right here coming in at the number 5. Number 6 is Caleb Johnson. Again, this is kind of, all these guys are almost interchangeable. This is just how I rank them based on what I've seen from skill set as well as stats. 1,500 rushing yards in 2024, 188 receiving yards as well. Now, he actually fell down my draft board. Quinshon Judkins jumped him based on his playoff performances. I think all the hype, he's going to potentially be a higher draft pick. But Caleb Johnson, man, he basically, in 2022 and 2023, it was dud seasons. He wasn't getting the opportunities. Gets the opportunities in 2024, makes the most of them. Iowa, Hawkeye typical running back. He's got the skill set that's going to translate well to the NFL. Travion Henderson right here, I'm higher on him than most people. The reason I have him so high, man, I think he can be a PPR, type player. He might even, it's going to be hard for him to get that every down role. I can see him starting off more as that third down type back. He had 284 receiving yards this season, 1,000 rushing yards. He did have 11 touchdowns, both in the air and then 1 receiving. So I think Travion Henderson's going to be a good NFL caliber player. He's more of that power type back rather than the shifty back, which is why he might find a third down role. I'm a bit more scared about Henderson than Judkins. I honestly think Henderson has a higher ceiling, though, if he is that, elusive type back and he starts hitting the holes with a bit more explosiveness as he progresses in his development. Now we're talking about Tyler Warren, man. Tyler Warren, man, I honestly, if there wasn't such a good running back class, Tyler Warren might be top 3 on my board, man. I like Tyler Warren a lot. Again, we're talking about He had 98 catches for 1,200 yards and 8 touchdowns. Oh, and also he had like 200 rushing yards and a couple rushing touchdowns. Wildcat type threat. Depending on his landing spot, he's going to be a very, very good player. Now we got Emeka Egbuka. He went back for his senior year to go after the national championship. They got that. 70 catches, 900 yards, 10 touchdowns. Took a back seat to Jeremiah Smith or whatever his name is, Jeremiah Love. I don't even know. But and that's actually concerning because wherever he gets drafted to, he's not definitely going to be that alpha guy because he lost the alpha role to Jeremiah Love or whatever his name is. So Emeka Egbuka, he's exciting. You are going to kind of get a discount because there are a lot of good running backs and wide receivers ahead of him. So if you get him at the end of round 1, you'll be happy about it. Now we got the 2 quarterbacks. I like Cam Ward slightly more than Shedeur Sanders, mainly just because the stats don't lie, and Cam Ward has slightly better touchdown to interception ratio. And I just think that Cam Ward, he's more ready right now. Shedeur Sanders might have a higher ceiling, but I think Cam Ward's going to be a slightly higher prospect to begin with. I think Cam Ward's going to go 1 of 1 in the actual NFL draft, so that's why I have him slightly above. Trey Harris is highly underrated in my eyes, guys. I think that people are kind of sleeping on him a little bit. This guy, I know he was injured, but he did all the dirty work for Mississippi. People are calling it a Mickey Mouse offense. I don't care what you call it, man. Trey Harris is good. He had 1,030 receiving yards in only 8 games this season. Enough said. That's why he's ranked this high. Now, Matthew Golden, I actually got to pull up, man, because Matthew Golden, he wasn't even in my top 35 until recently. Matthew Golden. So he moved to Texas this past season. He's a surprising 4-star commit. And 58 catches, 987 yards, and 9 touchdowns. He only played 3 seasons, so he does have more development. So this is maybe a bit more of a project, but I've seen him rising up NFL mock drafts. So I'm throwing him in here, man. I think a lot of people are going to be happy about having Matthew Golden right here. And if I do the math right, 3, 6, 9, 12, he's the first pick in round 2. He's the 201. He's slightly above some other good names as well. Ollie Gordon, I think people are sleeping on him, man. He had over 2,000 yards, total yards from scrimmage as a sophomore. And then he had a terrible season following that. Now he's getting drafted. If he plays like he did when he had that 2,000-yard season, this guy could be a league winner. So you got to have him here for sure. Colston Loveland, I like him as a prospect. It's really going to depend how he does in the combine for me to move him up or maybe down. Also his landing spot. He has the talent to be a Travis Kelce type player. But why is he only getting 500 yards? Yes, he was injured with an undisclosed injury as well as a shoulder injury. But a lot of blame's on his quarterback. There's some bad quarterbacks in the NFL too, so I don't know. But I do think Colston Loveland is worth maybe even round 1 type ammunition here. Jalen Milroe. I got Jalen Milroe on the board, and I think I'm a bit higher on him than other people just because of his rushing potential, man. He ran for 730 yards and 20 rushing touchdowns in his final season. That is very good. Now, he's not a good passer. Let's be honest right there. But the rushing upside, it's there. Harold Fannin Jr., he set the single-season receiving record, single-season touchdown record. He had like 1,600 receiving yards and 10 touchdowns. I'm not even kidding. Go watch we have a tight end videos coming out soon, and he's actually ranked number 3 behind Loveland. It's close, man. Yes, he was Bowling Green, but this guy is good. Alik Io Manor. Now, the rest of these guys, a lot of people are high on him. I'm high on him, but not as high. He's got the body type. He had 830 receiving yards this season. So people are saying, oh, he's got the talent. He's got raw talent, raw size, blah, 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 blah. Only 800 receiving yards. That's why I'm a bit lower than other people, but still. Isaiah Bond comes up next. These are the names you got to know, guys. Isaiah Bond. He broke out, quote unquote, and he had 700 receiving yards when he broke out. That's not a breakout, man. 700 yards, it's all right, but it ain't going to get the job done. People are saying that, again, this is raw talent, blah, blah, better situation, he'll play better. He was in college, brother. The better situation. He's playing against Jalen Ramsey now. So I'm a bit concerned. We'll see how he does at the combine. I might move him up. He's actually, the really good thing is he will get higher draft capital in the actual NFL draft than these other guys. Then he's getting drafted before him. He's getting drafted before Matthew Golden probably. So he might move up my board. Jalen Royals is the next name. Jalen Royals, solid player. He's got Rashee Rice type talent, good route running. He had 554 receiving yards and 4 touchdowns in his last 3 games combined. That's right. I like him a lot. Keep your eye on him as a sleeper. Now, Xavier Restrepo and Tez Johnson, they're both back-to-back. People are calling them slot-type gods. Okay, but I like that in PPR. So I think both of these guys, they could potentially, find a role as a third receiver, maybe with an injury, kind of flash and perform well. Savion Williams is another sleeper right here. He never really had an amazing season, but he had 611 receiving yards. Okay, he's a receiver. And he had 322 rushing yards with 12 total touchdowns. So they actually used this guy kind of like Deebo Samuel as a receiver and a running back, and I sign me up for that. Kyron Lacy, okay, I misclicked. In fact, since he's wanted for murder, we're going to have to unfortunately delete him from the list. It hurts, man. It got through the cracks. Dylan Sampson's up next. Again, a bit of a riser right here. He's a little bit light in terms of weight, but he had 6 straight 100-plus yard rushing games this season for Tennessee, and he's got some starting upside at the next level, but he might not get that opportunity immediately, which is why he's behind some of these other guys. Now, Bashaw Tuin also wasn't on my list as well, but you guys actually commented saying, why isn't he on the list? Okay, I read the comments, boys. Okay, I get it. He carried Virginia Tech for 2 years since transferring from North Carolina A&T. He's got very good speed, very good vision, very good returner, and he showed some receiving upside as a sophomore. It really depends on the opportunity this guy gets for where he gets drafted before I can rank him higher or lower, but I like him. And Travis Hunter comes in low. I know you're all complaining, man, but this is a boom bust. It's looking like he's going to be a cornerback, and then you just wasted your draft pick. So I can't recommend him over these other guys. Huge upside for sure, but just not enough, to get me excited when he's going to be playing 10 snaps a game at wide receiver. Kyle Monangai, 2 straight 1,200-plus yard rushing seasons for Rutgers, and the Rutgers offense basically went through him. Sign me up. Damian Martinez is up next. Martinez transferred from Oregon State to Miami. He had a solid year with 1,000 rushing yards, 10 touchdowns. Solid season for a guy ranked down here. We got Devin Neal up next. Devin Neal, on a true freshman, terrible Kansas team. He had 700 rushing yards and 8 touchdowns. Since then, he's had 3 straight 1,000-yard seasons. I like it a lot. Jaden Higgins, people are a bit higher on him than I am potentially. He is 6'4", 215, good physicality. He had 87 catches for 1,200 yards and 9 touchdowns this year, but he might start out as a reserve player in the league. Then we got DJ Giddens, Jack Beck, and Cam Scatterbo. These guys both had good seasons. Cam Scatterbo, though, he might be rising up the board in future videos. We'll have to see. Stay tuned. Smash the like and subscribe button, boys. That's the top 35. Peace out. Thanks for watching.